the biggest technological revolution which is happening these days. So I started my bachelor's and master's both were from India, and at that time during my master's I was at IIT Hyderabad, and I worked on robots. At that time it was very rare to have robots and to do research on robots. So that's where I started to jump into the field of robotics, but at the same time from the research perspective, that what are the challenges we have to solve to make these robots useful, basically for the purpose for which we are designed. And so there are lots of research challenges which we have handled. And after my master's, I moved to France to do my PhD in robotics and AI again. And that was something interesting because at that time, that was the place जहाँ पर human robots थे, robots which will be looking like human in the sense they have the body, legs, hands, head, they can move around. And that was very interesting that there can be many kinds of robots. That is one of the things which we have to understand. And robots are bodies. So how we will make them useful to do something. That's where the research challenge is always there to see how to make these robots useful so that they can solve some of the problems. And that's where my research interest was there as well. I worked with robots which were supposed to be used for healthcare, for robots which are used for education, for elderly care, to assist people, to move around in a crowded place, to guide people in a mall or in a museum. So there have been lots of applications which we have started to think about once we have started to see that these robots are basically enablers, these are the tools. So that's where my thought process started to change, that how we can start seeing them as tools and then start trying to understand the societal problems and the needs for a particular country, for a particular region, for a particular society, and then see how we can bridge that gap through this kind of technologies. So it was an interesting experience during my PhD as well, and by the way, it was one of the best 3 PhD in robotics in entire Europe. That gives some kind of validation of research-driven innovation, basically. And after that, I moved to a company called Robotics, which was later on termed as SoftBank Robotics Europe. I served there as the chief scientist of the company. And the company created one of the world's first and very famous humanoid robot called Paper Robot, which was mass produced and deployed in several applications. There we started to get real user feedback that we are making robots, we are making them intelligent, but what people are expecting from these robots? What is one small thing which is missing in this robot? What are the big roles these robots can play? And that's where the journey started, not only for me, but also for robots, to get adapted to the people, to their needs, to serve them in a more personalized manner, in a more intelligent manner, and at the same time, to be more connected with the people by understanding their social and cultural background. And now, what we see is that there are lots of applications which are coming for different background of the people to make them more connected, but that was the time when it was the beginning, that how we can start integrating robotics for society and making them socially intelligent. That was one of the key themes for my research topic as well. There we have to bring psychology, social science, child developmental psychology, animation, arts, everything together. So that was one of the messages which I received and which I used to always give, that everyone can play a role in this revolution of robotics and AI, not necessarily from a particular background, but whatever is your background, there are possibilities and chances to play a role. To advance this, to continue the journey, I moved to Hanson Robotics, where you might have heard about the Sophia robot, world famous robot which has the facial expression. I served there as the CTO and the chief science officer of the company. And then I also served as the president of the company. Interesting thing was that that was the time when COVID also came. We have started to explore that how these robots can be part of the reducing the distance, social distancing or the suffering of the people through these kind of social robots. We also experimented with a robot avatar, which was the avatar of a healthcare professional here in India and connecting with a patient remotely, trying to have some kind of analysis of the patient as well as providing the physical assistance like giving a glass of water or something, which was very interesting because then you understand that robots can bridge the gap. Either it is a physical gap or a social gap or whatever we can think about, there are possibilities for robots to play a role. Either they can be intelligent or they can be teleoperated, but since they have a body, they can help us a lot. So perhaps during the conversation I will give you more examples that how the robots can really help us in lots of contexts. So
that's an amazing journey, Amit, because I find that the way how you actually portray your journey is like so amazing and polite. Because for a person who was in India and to reach France and now reaching all the major destinations when it comes to properties and artificial intelligence, because the new era, that is the modern era, is and the future is going to be of artificial intelligence. And you are hitting one of the top positions, key positions in terms of all the advancements of humankind in terms of artificial intelligence. So it's our honor to actually have you here. And at the same time, we know that there will be a lot of challenges for anybody who is actually setting out on this journey. Because artificial intelligence or robotics is not a normal science or normal thing anybody can get into and find a solution. So when you are trying out on different researches or different projects, can you tell me one of the major challenge what you face in terms of solving certain issues? Because yesterday when we had a conversation, you told me that it's not easy to actually combine science and technology in certain areas, right? So I would like you to actually explain that areas with this young generation so that anybody who is actually passionate about going in that area will be inspired by you. Please narrate one of the challenges what you had and just explain how did you actually solve it.
Yeah, I think there are many challenges, but again, the first important thing is that if we want to bring something back to the society, we have to understand what problem we are going to solve. Creating robots or playing with artificial intelligence as a hobby is one thing, but giving a direction or a purpose to that is another thing. So once you know that why I am in this domain, what are the key things which we should solve? Like just one example is if a robot has to take care of a elderly person at home or in an elderly care facility, how should be the behavior of the robot? Should it be universal behavior which is pre-programmed or it has to be adapting to the person? And once you will get the real user feedback, the question will be yes, I want a robot which is intelligent enough to understand me better and then help me. So it is not that okay, you have scripted a behavior of the robot and then it is working. That's where is the one challenge, that how we can bring the latest advancement in science, translate that into innovation and then convert that into a product so that it is really going to solve the key need of the person and behave in the way which is accepted and expected by each individual. So that is just one of the examples where science and technology they should come together to craft something which is not only engineering but which is also driven by art and many other disciplines. Because this is the technology which is going to integrate in the social, cultural, family life of the people. So it is different than any passive technology technology, either robots or AI or combination of both. They are coming together as being part of our life. So that's one of the key challenges we have to have.
Wonderful. I hope everybody got to know about that challenge, what you explained. Because if this robots or artificial intelligence is going to be the society living around us or doing the work which we were doing, so it has to inculcate all the people, all the disciplines. It's not only about science and technology, it's all about that particular being knowing everything about whatever we are dealing with. At least a basic idea about what we are actually doing. It will never be 100%, but at least a basic idea about what we are doing. So, as a matter of fact, I want to ask you one question more because there will be a lot of passionate people who are here, passionate about robotics and artificial intelligence. So, as a person who is hiring that kind of people, young professionals, into that industry, what are the key qualities you are looking forward to in this kind of young people who want to be in your industry, where you are entering that industry? For example, everybody wants to be in robotics right now. Everybody wants to be in artificial intelligence right now. Maybe that is because there is a boom in that industry. They think that they can make a lot of money in that. But what do you suggest for somebody to take that field as their main career? Is everybody fit for that, or everybody can learn it, or is that any specific qualities or passion is required to be in that industry and make a difference in that?
Yes, I think that's a very interesting one because depending on each individual, there can be different answers. That what is good for them. But just to give the answer from my own journey perspective, I think that will make more sense. I started to work in robotics as I mentioned, which were mobile robots, which were moving on the floor with wheels. I tried to understand the fundamental problems and the fundamental solutions of those kind of robots. That helped me to better understand the next level of problem and was a potential solution for more complex robots, which were basically the humanoid robots. Then that helped to better understand even for more complex robots for a different kind of application, which was robots in public places. Then I moved to work on robots for space, completely different. Robots from social space to outer space. So currently I am serving as the CTO of a company where we are creating robots to create big, large infrastructure in outer space. And that company is Rovial Space, which is based in France. So, and this is one of the first of its kind. Like whenever I have been in a part of a particular journey, that was always the first of its kind. How is it possible? You should have an idea. That's why we are in this stage. Idea is very important. Is fundamental for innovation. And once you have the idea, you have to do your self-study, self-analysis. What are your qualities to fulfill that idea? And very important for that is that you should keep in mind that 1 plus 1 should be always greater than 2 once you want to make your career in this. It means that you should have a multidisciplinary approach. If you are good in data science or if you are good in AI, try to get some certification or some kind of understanding about completely different discipline like psychology. Just to give you an example, social robotics is one domain where we need to understand the human behavior psychology and then translate that into the models which can be used in the robot. So if we have to hire people for the future needs, we will try to see in the mind that how open they are, how capable they are to explore new things, because there are no solutions, like there is not always a solution for the problem which robotics or AI industry will be trying to solve. So once you are able to see robots as the physical tool, AI as the mental tool, and then use that tool to find a creative solution. For finding the solution, first